Whenever the topic of the best N64 games comes up, one of those answers is definitely going to be GoldenEye 007. The game left a huge impact, but despite it being a popular title, I have never played it to the end. I've known of its existence for a few years now, but I have only partially played through the first level. This is coming from someone who has grown up in the modern era of first-person shooters, and heck, I don't even play many shooters in general to begin with. I was curious to see if the game held up after all these years, or if nostalgia blinded people to its age. Before I start talking about my experience with this game, I just want to briefly mention two things. I won't be elaborating on the story, as I just want to focus on the gameplay, and I've never seen the film, although there are background descriptions for missions if you care, but I didn't. You may also notice that the game on screen isn't the GoldenEye from 1997. For this playthrough, I played the Xbox Live Arcade version that leaked a while back, using a build of Xenia Canary that allowed keyboard and mouse controls because I played the first mission with the controller and man, those controls did not age too well. In other words, my Zoomer brain couldn't adjust to them. You could call it blasphemy for playing with an unintended control scheme, and may think it slaps in the face of difficulty as this game was built with an N64 controller in mind. But strap in because I got smacked around like a slab of meat. The game starts in damn and god damn does this music slap. The music in this game is top tier and damned music is an excellent way to start. I should mention that I played through the game on Secret Agent difficulty. Not Agent because playing on easy modes hurts my ego, and not Double Agent because I'm not skilled enough for that. There's also the 007 difficulty, which is unlocked after beating all the levels on Double Agent. I don't think I need to explain why I didn't play on the difficulty. The number of objectives is based on the selected difficulty. Higher difficulties may require you to destroy certain objects or fetch items. Example is the first level. On Agent, all you need to do is bungee jump from the platform. For Secret Agent, you need to do that and destroy the alarms. Damn is also a great introduction to the game. You shoot some guards and get to try different types of weapons. My most used weapon was probably the KF-7 Soviet. A lot of the enemies used it, so that meant ammo was relatively plentiful. I was slightly confused on what it meant by neutralize the alarms, but then I saw the guard press the red button when I showed up, so I shot all of those and managed to complete the objective. I remember playing this level for the first time and getting stumped at this gate with a lock. I tried to look for a key, but had no success. I soon discovered I simply had to shoot the lock off. This game is great at making me feel smart and stupid at the same time, with the latter becoming a common trend. After jumping off the platform, I infiltrated the facility. I started a gunfight in the restroom, as you do, and made my way to the lab to meet up with the double agent. I made it to a locked door, so I chose the approach of shooting the window. They didn't break, but it attracted the guards who did open the door. I listened to what 006 had to say, and suddenly a huge wave of guards came in. 006 died, and I tried to fight them off. They didn't stop coming, and soon I hit the ground because I died. I made my way back to 006 and destroyed the tanks before 006 finished talking. Once the tanks were blown up, it was just a matter of walking out the door. Runway is the first level where I got stuck trying to figure out what I was supposed to do. I felt like a small child in a mall trying to look for their parents, but had no sense of direction. Finding the key plane was a piece of cake. Finding the missile battery to destroy was not. There was a spot that I swore was a door. Wasn't a door. I tried blowing up these tanks. It wasn't those either. Turns out it was a missile launcher looking thing. Looked it up and yep, they are called missile batteries. It took 14 minutes and a couple deaths to figure that out. Here's an addition to my 2023 resolution. Expand my vocabulary. I quickly ran to the plane and tried to get inside until I got stopped dead in my tracks, emphasis on dead because I got shot. It wasn't too bad replaying this level because I had now had the knowledge of what I was supposed to do. After making my escape, I was thrown into an open snowy area. I was strolling around doing my usual thing until a game crashed. Well, I'm sure that was just a one-time issue, right? Once I rebooted my game, I managed to power down the communications dish, and while exploring, I found a helicopter pad. There was also a door that I tried to open. Some boys in blue arrived because I tried to open it. I shot most of them down, and then turned around. That led to me getting my ass blasted in the face, so that attempt was a bust. I respawned only to find myself walking around for 10 minutes trying to figure out where to use this key I found. Out of nowhere, the game crashes again. I went online to look for a solution, and I learned that changing a few settings in the Xenia config file may have helped because I didn't have any more crashes. In this level at least. I completed the objectives and made my way to the bunker. Once inside, I shot 2 guards, and without thinking, I triggered the alarm. Truly some ace spy work is being done right here, folks. Eventually, I found a staircase and opened the door at the top, and I failed the mission. Oops. I shot down the monitors in the control room because I thought that would mess with the surveillance equipment. Nope. You must shoot the cameras. In hindsight, that makes a lot of sense. There was this programmer who told me to take him to the mainframe terminal. They kept running around for a little bit before we started heading there, so that was inconvenient. Once there, he tried to disable the security and what does he do? He triggers it instead. I punished him for his actions, but soon karma bites back. At one point, I found the GoldenEye key, but I didn't know how to copy it. This is when I learned about the different gadgets Bond has. One of them was able to copy the key. I copied the key and went on my merry way. Next up is Silo. I go through into the area until I get to this door that has guard and General R move behind it. He was carrying a suitcase, so I figured that I just had to go after him and kill him. That was a mistake because walking into the elevator completed the mission. On my second attempt, for the funnies, I destroyed the satellite. It blew up and then I turned my gun to what I assumed were its controls. That idea blew up in my face because its explosion managed to reach me and turned me into ashes. Finally, on my third attempt, I beat the level. Fargate has hostages, so that means I should be sneaky, right? Well, my hamster wheel powered brain thought it'd be better to run in guns blazing and hope for the best. It was fortunate that the game didn't require you to save all the hostages. Shooting past more guards, I find this control panel and decide to interact with it. Turns out that was one of the bombs I was meant to disarm, but I had triggered it instead. I swear, roughly half of the deaths or failures in this game are not because of the guards or the game itself, but because of my own stupid actions. I am the one who gets himself killed. Anyways, I got by after another botched attempt with too many dead hostages, and I was back at surface. I found my way to the satellite dish and headed into the communications room. The objective is to destroy the communications link to the bunker, but you know me. I interacted with the communication device and failed the objective. Afterwards, I realized I just had to shoot it. From there, I destroyed the helicopter and went searching for the entrance to the bunker. After wandering around, the entrance was at the door that triggered the alarm in the last surface level. I guess this was a valid way of entry now, although once I got inside, I was immediately held at gunpoint. How lovely. Bunker 2 caused me so much mental anguish because it took me half an hour to beat over the course of multiple attempts because of one camera and of our new friend, Natalia. One of the objectives is to disable the security cameras. I spent so much time looking for one camera, and when I did, I felt a sense of relief because it meant I no longer had to play a part in this wild goose chase. During some attempts, I would also walk into the control room because there was a camera in there, alright? Natalia would hurry over to a computer and trigger a timer. This was annoying as most of the time, I wasn't done with finding the cameras, so I was scrambling to finish them all off before ultimately meeting my end. I resolved this issue by doing all the other tasks and shooting all the other cameras before heading into that room. There are also turrets you must watch out for, but they can be shot down, so they're not too bad. You must also watch out for Natalia because if she gets caught in the crossfire of your bullets, she dies, which happened to me once. After all that, statue's up on the chopping block. Natalia got kidnapped, so it was my mission to save her. I met up with this Valentine fellow, and he told me to wait by a statue or somebody named Janice. Once there, some guards walked out and I started blasting. That wasn't the right thing to do as it failed the mission. When I got back to that area, I put my gun away and Janice is revealed to be Alec, who is 006 from the second level. He said that there's a helicopter rigged to explode near the park's gates, with Natalia nearby, so I had to rush over and save her. Once that is over, she heads to the gate, and I go find the flight recorder. Things didn't go as planned as guards were there. I shot them and ran out the gate, thinking I had a job well done. Nope, I failed to rescue Natalia. After saving her on my next attempt, I followed her, but there were no guards. I guess they spawn after I get the flight recorder. I get back to the gate and I'm standing there around like, what do I do? As two guards are holding Natalia hostage, so even if I shoot one, the other will kill her. I don't get a say in the decision, as soon enough, a dude named Mishkin comes in and he takes me in. After escaping the interrogation room, I ran around looking for Natalia. During that hunt, I found Mishkin, who I killed because I thought he was a bad guy. That assumption was incorrect, as he was supposed to give me a key to open the safe which contained the black box I needed. I come back and we talk. I grab the black box and continue searching for Natalia. Eventually, after a while, I found her and we escaped. You want me to tell you something funny? She gets captured again! So I had to go after her again. Some guards here put up more of a fight because they have explosive weapons, but they're not too bad. I switched to my weapons and the game crashed. I think switching to the grenade launcher caused the issue because I proceeded not to use it and no further crashes occurred. I also tried switching a few more Xenius settings, but I didn't test if they actually fixed anything. Depot was a great level to play through because I never got too lost or had any confusion outside of destroying the computer network which I was able to piece together. So yeah, just a good level. I made it onto the train and made it to the end where I had only one shot. I just saved Natalia, but it wasn't over yet. We still had to escape the train. With less than 25 seconds left, I finally figured out how to use my watch laser, but it was too late. I then managed to use the laser in a timely manner, but I forgot to lead Natalia away, so she got blown up to smithereens. After that, I repeated all those steps and led her to safety. The next level finds us crash-landed in a jungle. I get the AR-33 assault rifle, and I think this weapon is solid as well. I crossed this bridge only to get gunned down by Xenia and a drone gun. Tried again, but this time I shot the drone, so just me and Xenia. I ran around her to avoid her grenades as she went down. Pushing forward, Natalia and I made it to the control center. Oh yeah, we're in the end game now. I step out of the elevator and there's already an auto gun shooting at me. It took a couple tries, but I was able to figure out to peek from behind the wall so they couldn't see me. Once inside the control room, I had to protect Natalia. I just stayed in this one spot while occasionally checking the sides. I tried blowing up some computer stuff to destroy the mainframe, but it wasn't working. I even stumbled into this room and got killed by a turret. I went there again and the mainframe wasn't even there in the first place, so that was a huge waste of time. When the game meant armored mainframe, it meant armored by glass. After it was blown to pieces, it was time to head to the caravans. Caverns objectives are straightforward and hard to miss. You just have to destroy a bunch of controls and not kill too many scientists. Near the end of the level, I encountered Alec again, and was about to chase him until I realized there were autoguns. Fortunately, I stepped back and didn't die. I took down more guards and shot down the autoguns. It's time for the final showdown with Alec. When you start the level, Alec runs away and activates the controls. After that, you go after him. On my first few attempts, I shot him so much and was wondering, how was this guy not dying? I would also just go after him, so that led me to getting filled with bullets by his guards. I then learned that he only takes damage when he's not moving, so when he starts to shoot, that's your opportunity to hurt him. After playing cat and mouse with him, I fell down a hole with him and had a gunfight. It was an absolute joke as it lasted less than 5 seconds. Alec dies and the campaign is complete. However, despite reaching the end of the game, there are 2 unlockable bonus levels. There is Aztec and Egyptian. Since I only played Secret Agent, I only had access to Aztec and... wow. I'm going to admit something to you all right now. I could not beat this level. Maybe I'll be able to do it in the future, but as of now, I just got kicked in the nuts so much by this level. You spawn in a hole, and there's already 3 guards waiting for you outside. After that, there's a door that leads to an open space that has even more guards. And these guards don't play around. They are tough with faster reaction time and better accuracy. I got a little further and ended in this area with this absolute unit who is a bullet sponge. I found a smart card and went looking around some more. This was cut short when I accidentally disarmed myself and allowed this one dude to send me 6 feet under. After that, I gave up. For now at least. Because that was the farthest I had ever gotten after several attempts. I'm sure I'll be able to beat this level someday. That concludes my experience with GoldenEye. Compared to modern shooters today, I'd argue it can stand alongside them when you don't take the presentation of the original game into account, although I do love me some low-poly character models. The design and gameplay that people still praise today still hold up extremely well. The objectives give you something else to do instead of just finding the exit and shooting enemies. The extra objectives and higher difficulties also make it so that difficulty doesn't simply change how hard the guards hurt you. Some may be critical of the lack of checkpoints or health pickups, but these levels are short enough that once you know where to go, it's as simple as retracing your steps if you get killed. The original controls do have a learning curve if you do plan on staying pure on that front, but the original game provides alternate control schemes, so that could help. As I mentioned before, the music is excellent and definitely worth a listen. If you haven't played GoldenEye 007, I would recommend it to anyone who enjoys shooters. This is Adam, Random Adam, signing off. Peace.